Let me show you around a little bit. Just nice, simple, very easy flowing kitchen. That's right next to the door. That's up. Okay, and I'll show you, maybe I need to turn a light on in here. It's been a nice day out. Oh, can you go turn the lights on, please? But anyway, you get to watch a little great camera work. There is the front cabinet that goes over the dinette. There we got a little light on the subject. Now I built the cabinet for over the sink, that's the kitchen sink. This will be the cabinet over it. I just finished it. It's drying. Trying real hard not to put any kind of fasteners in the face. So, got that. I could probably build that real simple back shelf now that I'm thinking about it, but got that. So, this guy, there's only one more piece to build because that one right there is going to hook in right there and come over here and go to that tape mark. So I am going to install that so that I can get an exact measurement for this cabinet. It's a very important cabinet. It is going to hold the air conditioner and the refrigerator. And I don't know, man. It's going to be real close. Real close. We already talked about it, though. I think I even showed you a diagram. So I've got to do something I normally don't want to do, and that is, well, I always want to run the amber shellac. But this has to be amber shellac to be installed. And then this part. That part doesn't matter. So I think what I'm going to do is, whilst this is drying, I think I will amber shellac, amber shellac, amber shellac. And that'll make me feel good enough that I didn't waste one of my pads. So I'll do that. And then when I get the time to make that extra cabinet, then I'll router this out. And at the same time as that other cabinet, I'll amber shellac that. That seemed rushed, didn't it? Because I don't know why I was rushing through that. I just felt like I've left you behind a little bit, like I always do. But I wanted you to know where I'm going. And that's where I'm going. Well, let's take a look. Well, let's look there. Look at that. Don't worry, that's going to be trimmed. I got to nail that in still from the back. I just wanted to get it set. So not bad. Not a bad little potty closet. I think it came together pretty nice. Went ahead and put up the back shelf, and as you can see, I trimmed it with that. We did set the kitchen so far. Got it set in there. Then, I don't know if you can see that with all that light coming in, but we got the front cabinet in, and I did trim it as well, right here. I may or may not trim here and here. I have not yet decided. I thought I was going to have to trim this, but it looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave it alone, I think, for now. But that gives me my measurement now. I needed my measurement from here to here, and it's plenty big for the fridge. I only need 19, I think it was. 18 or 19. But I'll double check that. I'm just not going to do it right now. So this is my last cabinet to build. I do have to finish this upper cabinet. What I did on this upper cabinet, just because of the way this came together, I don't have that seam completely covered. So we've got space right here. Right there. So I made this cabinet to go over an inch. It still will not impede the door. But it'll go over an inch that way, and then it'll hang over an inch this way. And that will suck that right up. That'll make it nice. So I did that. And then we might be able just to put a light on the back there. I don't know what we'll do. We may not. We may put one on the back of this cabinet because it's going to have so much electric ran to it anyway. I don't know. I'm just thinking about that. I know we're going to go something there. We almost have to go something in the middle of the cabinet. And I did leave enough space. I don't know why I'm showing you that. There's no cabinet there. You can dream about it like I can, but here it is. So I'm going to get that routed out. And that's really all it lacks. And then I can install it up there. And this is right here in the middle. There's plenty of room for a small light. And of course, we'll put our kitchen light underneath like we always do. So that's 1, 2 right there. 3 here. Probably one in the back. 4 lights. Probably what we're going to do. And I've got to make the determination on those lights. I'm just so proud of this coming together. It needs to be trimmed, yes, but it's coming together. It's looking pretty nice for a little old 15-foot Scotty from 1963. Yeah. I am doing my ciphering because I have saved this cabinet for last. We're going to put those 2 items in next to the potty closet. And I've been doing my ciphering here and over here. One thing I forgot to take into account is how much drop. I didn't think there was this much drop. So within that 21 1/8, that's probably about 1 1.75 inch drop. That eliminates 1 3/4 inch from this end. It has to stop there. But that's the same thing as this when you measure those going down. So what that means over here, we have got to build a platform right in through here for the AC. 1/2 inch at the most. Then we've got to come up about 12.5 inches for the AC. But then we have to have the platform for the refrigerator. 1/2 inch at least. But in between them, we've got to have at least, I don't know, 1 inch to build this. You know, you have to have that. Like if the AC was going right here, it would be resting on that and against that. So that has to be here, and it has to be here between the AC and the refrigerator. And then, now you could clearly see it. I don't know why I ignored it, but that's a big drop right there. And so I do need at least 3/4 inch starting here and then going over to that probably 2 1/4. I hope this is all making sense to you. I have got to really scrimp and save and measure to the 1/8 before I can even install that refrigerator. And that's a beautiful refrigerator. That's what's holding us up, is that refrigerator. I don't know. I'm going to build it until just the frame. Build the skeleton. Worst case scenario, we swap this out for a smaller refrigerator. No, I don't want to do that. But if I have to, I will. I'm going to see what I can get out of this AC. And I don't have to go super high on the top for airflow because this is only, I don't know. Let's take a quick look here on the Tape-O-Matic. Man, that's a great camera, Rob. So that's 17 3/4, 18. That's 18 wide. But we're going 21 1/8. So we've got well over 1 inch on each side, if not 1.5 inches. Plenty of airflow. And we can even, in the potty closet, we can put a little vent to vent heat out if that is necessary. So, boy, oh boy. And I think that I thought that this would be, let's see what the very minimum, I know you love this, is, oh, we gotta go to the floor, 34. You probably didn't see any of that. So 34 is the absolute lowest I can go to the top, which takes us to 35 because we have to put, well, 36, 37 maybe, because that part is big on here. Worst case scenario though, we just get a smaller fridge. We can use that somewhere else. It's a great looking fridge. All right, I do not know why this is not focusing today. I mean, I'm not either, so I mean, I can't say anything. Does this help? No? So I was thinking, why don't we just mock this up? I mean, that's the tallest point, okay? And then I put my piece across there. Hey, I guess we are in focus finally. And 48 and maybe a half. I thought we had 50. 48 to there. And maybe a half, 48 and a half. And so what I was thinking, my helper's here today, 48 and a half. And I was thinking when I was doing my ciphering that I had 50 and a quarter. And then I had all my adjustments in here. And so then I did a little measuring here and I got it to 49. And that was before I tried to suck it up a little bit. So I've got to find a ½ inch somewhere in this area. It's not coming out of here because that's it. That's it. That's finite. It does not move. I can make some adjustments here, I think. So I'm going to press on knowing that I've only got 48 and a half and I think I need 49, but there's always an eighth here and there, and that's all I need. Is an eighth here and there. So I'm going to press on. I've got my lumber cut. I had to rip down some 1x4s as usual. So I'm just going to start. I'm going to get started. And wish me luck, boys. Framed it in. Now I'll make sure that it fits. Yeah, oh, okay, that's good. I mean, I was hoping for a kind of a tight fit anyway. There's going to be some trim involved. Whoa, wait a minute. Get down there. That's size okay. This side, we can make it work. We're going to make it work. Okay. Kind of popped up a little bit, but I think it's okay. Get it set right there. That's gonna work. It's gonna work. Anyway, as I was measuring, I can't see myself on this. I put the camera in the wrong way, so maybe we're talking, maybe we're not. Anyway, as I measured everything, I guess I was being too generous on this, taking away from the whole area when really only part of it did, because it has to be a ½ inch shelf is going to go in here for the refrigerator to sit on, but we don't need to add that because it's on the back side of where the AC is going anyway. So that was dead space. So we easily saved a ½ inch there, or 3/4 actually. And then we just have this ½ inch right here, which will leave about an 1/8 inch lip right here so that the refrigerator won't slide out. We'll secure it also, but it won't slide out because it has that lip right here. And all the way to the back. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay. No, I see what's going on here. Just needs a little persuasion. But I like it. And we did end up, by the time I got this exactly where it's going, and this, so that's the AC. I had to make this exactly 14 because that's what this is. And then I figured this part out. I'm repeating myself apparently. I think I've got an extra probably 3/4 of an inch. Can you see that up there? I don't know. At the top, there's an extra 3/4 of an inch, so we will have plenty of room for the refrigerator to exhaust. No problems. I don't think it'll be too tall, but that's the weird thing about this drop down. And like, it's great to go into the potty. Pretty good for the kitchen, but still you can only go to here. You'd have to step up like this, or to get into the fridge, you're gonna have to kind of step up a little bit. I guess it's not a big deal, but you know, when you're trying to put modern luxuries into a 1963 camper, you're just going to have a little give and take. But I'm glad that we found that give and take to be able to put the refrigerator in there. While I was doing that, Lillette was working on shining up a couple of lights that we're going to put in here. Got to paint them, but all right, just wanted to show you that. Let me get out of here. Where'd you get? It's probably your question. There it is. We got over the kitchen built. And we got that back put on. We got the welting put on. I was going to do the next panel, but that will run into, it's barely, but it'll run in to this cabinet that we haven't installed yet. But speaking of that cabinet, there it is. How about that? Got that. Got the shelf for the refrigerator, and there's where the AC is gonna go. That it's gonna be towards the bed. So there it is. So once I install that, and really this too, because they both kind of meet each other in a way, then I can install this one here, that panel. And when I get this guy put in, then I won't worry about this being open. So then we can put the welting up, put this panel up, put that next panel up, and then just leave the skylight open so that we can make our adjustment. And there'll be just slightly less, I think, than one. We'll see. Might be one and a piece, but I'm not real sure. Not real sure. But I like where we're at. It's looking good, boys. I'm really, really liking it. I really am. I told you about those lights. Let that one shined up real nice. But it's white. That won't work here. There's that Humphrey. That's pretty cool. I haven't decided if I'm going to make it black or silver. This part came out real nice. I can still put those back in. I mean, it's a heat shield, but it still looks cool on there. And then, just in case, got this out of an old vintage trailer. She cleaned that up real nice. And I think I do have a globe for this one. I got to make the globe for that one. So she earned her keep. I don't think I'm going to fire her. I'm going to let her stick around. I'll check with Curly. That's where we got.